Welcome everyone to another Building Better Business Practice Management webinar series. Tonight's topic is how to network with MDs and other medical professionals with Jeffrey Grossman, President and Founder of Acupuncture Media Works. This free webinar is brought to you by the Florida State Oriental Medical Association. And we're so excited to have you with us today. For those of you that don't know me yet, welcome. My name is Natalia Morrison, and I am the Director of Communications for FASOMA. And just like you, I am also a licensed acupuncture physician here in Florida. And we have been running these wonderful free webinars for you on practice management for the last over 6 months. Jeffrey was our first ever presenter back in winter of last year. And we're just so excited to have him back sharing this really exciting topic. And I know that all of you are going to get a lot of good information on this to help you grow and maintain your business. So before Jeffrey showers us with his wisdom and knowledge, let's do some housekeeping. So whether you're on your phone or on your computer, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there are a couple icons. And why don't you click over the chat icon and make sure it goes to all panelists and all attendees. And this is where you're going to interact with your fellow colleagues, with Jeffrey and with myself. You can share anecdotes or different tips that have also worked for you. And let's test it out. So I'm going to type in here where I am. And Jeffrey is going to do the same. And you let us know what city and state you are joining us from tonight. So I am in, I would like to say sunny Miami, but it's been kind of rainy and overcast for the last couple of weeks. So Jeffrey is in Seattle and sunny, nice. Lisa from Miami as well, nice, welcome. So you understand my pain with the weather. Richmond, Virginia, Diane, nice, welcome. Thank you, everyone. And next to that, you'll see a Q&A icon as well. So if you click on that icon, you will be able to type in your questions during the presentation. Now, I'll be monitoring the questions, and at the end of tonight's presentation, we will review them with Jeffrey. You also have an opportunity to see the questions that your colleagues have submitted, and you can upvote it so it goes up on the queue. Make sure that it's one of the first questions that we read. All right, so without further ado, Jeffrey, welcome, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Natalia. And again, thank you so much for FASOMA for allowing me to keep showing up for the association and for helping your members to build a better business and to create a better practice. So I thoroughly enjoy teaching. I teach the practice management class at the Middle Way Acupuncture Institute. I've been doing that for the last 3 years, and I enjoy every single bit of that. And being an acupuncturist myself, graduating acupuncture school in 1997, I realized that there was many things that were really missing for me being in private practice, but the one big thing that was really missing was me actually having some marketing savvy under my belt and having to really learn how to grow my practice. So one quick little housekeeping thing right now, Natalia, I'm not sure if I'm being seen on screen or if it's the FASOMA logo, but there's a little green box around the FASOMA logo, and usually it's around where the voice is coming from. So if you guys can hear me and see me.
We can see you.
Okay, great, great, great. Just want to make sure. So yeah, so again, I enjoy marketing, I enjoy teaching, I enjoy sharing this knowledge and sharing this wisdom. And again, thank you for having me as part of this curriculum for the last 6 months or so. So today we're going to talk about MD referrals for acupuncture professionals and how to position yourself as an MD, a referral magnet. And I'm going to kind of go into some of the nuts and the bolts about this, kind of just dive into it deeply. Many of you are back in practice right now with, in Florida. Other states are still kind of slowly getting back into practice after this crazy time of COVID that kind of came and hit us like a 2x4 on the side of the head. So a couple things is I want to know what you guys want to get out of this training. If you want to put something in the chat box, that would be great. Also, let me know what other types of trainings that you might be interested in. Because again, I want to provide more value for you guys. I want to support FASOMA, and there might be some other types of marketing and business tools and strategies that you might be interested in learning more about that I maybe would be willing to, and maybe FASOMA even would have me come and teach on. So let me know what resonates with you. Let me know what type of business and marketing that you would be interested in learning more about. Put some comments in the chat box. That would be great. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeffrey Grossman. I am a licensed acupuncturist here in Washington State. My background is in advertising and graphic design. I graduated acupuncture school for the New England School of Acupuncture in 1997. And in 2002, I started Acupuncture Media Works, where we make marketing materials and print brochures for acupuncturists. And I did that out of a necessity to have pretty looking, cost-effective and marketing materials and tools that I would be feel comfortable sharing with and giving to my patients. So that's what prompted me to create Acupuncture Media Works in the first place. And then in 2010, we started building websites for acupuncturists as well. So it's been a really long and fun time that we've been working on the back end to help support practitioners, to help support tech, and to do all those things that many of you might not enjoy doing for your own practices. Because as an acupuncturist myself, and knowing many acupuncturists and working with many acupuncturists over the years, I realized that one thing is true, that we are very internal. We're very, one of the things that we shy away from are and is marketing and business. The thing that we really strive at is to treat and to learn specific techniques and protocols and herbs and prescriptions, all those fun things that help people to get well and stay healthy. And one of the things that we shy away from is the business and marketing end of it. And that's one of the great things that FASOMA has been doing, is to bring you guys this better business talk series to provide you with the skills and the know-how and the momentum to move your practices forward. Because the truth is, if you don't have marketing chops and business savvy on board, then you'll be struggling in your practice. So I'm here to help bridge some of that gap with you. You can reach me afterwards. I'll have an email link that you can reach me at and touch base to me. So what I'm going to do is, if you're watching this right now, you can close any tabs that you have open and close Facebook, mute your phone. There's a lot of information I'm going to go through here today, and I value your time, and I want you to walk away with this with some really good pearls of wisdom. And I would like you to stay focused and learn from what I'm going to be teaching you today. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm not going to be able to see what your kind of comments you're asking. I will field those questions and comments at the end of today's training. And we'll just spend some time talking about any questions and concerns that you might have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to also get rid of my camera only because sharing my screen and seeing you guys is going to take away my bandwidth. So hopefully, Natalia, if you can just come back here and just chime in and just let me know that you can actually just see my screen right now. And oops, sorry about that. It's me.
Yeah.
So hopefully get
You have
rid
to
of
put it back up for
what's,
me.
yeah, what's that?
You have to put it back up.
Yep, there it is. Let's
Yeah,
see.
there it is.
And do you see? Oh, wait a second. I'm having some screen problems. Okay, share screen. Here's my screen. There it is. I'm going over here. What do you see?
Perfect. That is your bio.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, great. Good. So we're going to just jump right into this and talk about why referrals with MDs rock. It all starts by building referral relationships with physicians, and these relationships provide have potential to provide value to their office and to your office, and help position you as that go-to acupuncturist. So not only will having this referral relationship happen between you and the practitioner, it's a win-win situation for everybody. And referral relationships, they build local trust and credibility with the physicians, also with the community as a whole. And they also put some extra dollars in your pocket. But most importantly, networking with MDs create a better outcome for your patients overall. Because the truth is that when you're working with a patient who is being referred to you by an MD, or whether or not you refer a patient to an MD, that patient is getting this quality care that covers all the bases of health and wellness. And in the long run, what this does is it helps support the overall health and well-being of the patient. So they really benefit in a powerful way through the interactivity of this medicine, through the sharing of the Western and the Eastern approach. And that's what you're here for, right? You're here to make a greater impact as best as you can. And I know that a lot of practitioners, both in the Western world and the Eastern world, shy away from this idea of getting referrals only because they consider it competition. And I can see the validity in that. But the truth is that there are enough patients to go around for the Western doctors and the Eastern doctors, and there's enough patients to go around for the combination of the holistic approach towards health, so that your patients and your community benefit overall. So why do MDs refer? So MDs refer because they are confident in your care, they know about you, they value your work, they might be aware that you offer high levels of service, and they have been reported to that maybe you offer a great experience in your clinic. So MDs aren't just going to blindly and coldly refer to some random practitioner. They need to feel confident, they need to feel comfortable in your care. And MDs won't refer to you if there's a poor rapport, if there's a lack of an enthusiasm or a lack of passion that your patients exhibit, because they might not be properly educated, and or if there's a lack of an enthusiasm and a lack of a passion, or even a lack of confidence that exudes from you as a practitioner, when you meet the staff or when you meet the doctor. The other thing too is they don't know what to say. They don't know how to refer to you. And also, you as an acupuncturist don't know what to say to ask that referral from that doctor. The other aspect is there's a lack of education. Most doctors think and realize that acupuncture is just good for pain. So, but there's got to be this beyond pain awareness that happens for the doctor, for the Western doc. They need to know the depth and the scope of this medicine is beyond just addressing and treating painful conditions. And that's one of the things that you, as an acupuncturist, will need to do and will need to look into in order to, move the needle from a cold lead, a cold referral relationship, to a warm, to a hot referral relationship. And the other thing too, MDs don't refer is because their efforts and your efforts both go unnoticed. Like if a doctor refers to you and they're making this goodwill effort to send people your way, and there's no acknowledgement, there's no thank you notes, there's no follow up, that goes unnoticed. Same way on from your end too, they might not refer if the lack of communication is sort of thwarted in some way. And then finally, there's this idea that there's a practice full perception. A lot of doctors don't even think about referring out, only because there's this idea that everyone is full, nobody else needs any new patients. And the thing is, like, they are already heads down in what it is that they're doing in their clinics and their practices, that that's one thing that doesn't even resonate with them and land on their awareness gauge. So those are some areas why MDs don't refer to you. So the thing to do is, it's important to educate MDs about acupuncture and to make it as simple as possible for them to grasp without the woo-woo language. So what you want to do is you want to speak their language. You want to be ready to explain how acupuncture can work from a scientific point of view. You want them to understand the Western theories of TCM. You want to create a Western-minded elevator speech, and you want to share whatever supporting research that you can come into contact with your patients. Right? So that's the important aspect of the things that you need to do in order to educate your patients about acupuncture. Now, I know it's important to communicate this Western-minded elevator speech and to explain from a scientific point of view. And I want to encourage you and assure you with the fact that it doesn't have to be some profoundly outrageously detailed conversation. The conversation can go simply like this. Acupuncture points are believed to stimulate the central nervous system. It works in two major ways: endogenous opioid release and down modulation of the sympathetic nervous system, which is calming the fight or flight syndrome. That makes the body release its own naturally occurring painkillers and naturally occurring feel-good chemicals and relaxes the nervous system. These biochemical changes encourages the body to promote natural healing and to improve functioning. This is done by inserting needles and applying heat or electrical stimulation at very precise acupuncture points. Research suggests that it can help relieve pain, and that it is used for a wide range of other complaints. Now, that's a really simple conversation. It's also a bit of a mouthful, and I don't expect you or encourage you to just spout that off to MDs when you meet them right off the bat. But in this little script, which I can have available for you guys if you want, I can get that together. You can either email me at the end of this. I'll send you my email address. I'll put that up, or I can get something and put it up online. You can grab it. But you definitely need some type of really simple conversation that you can have with MDs, because MDs are Western minded, right? They deal with the body and the mind in a very clinical, one-off sense, and they don't have this relationship to the body and the mind and the spirit like we do as acupuncturists, which is the beauty of our medicine. So what you're going to need to do is to not talk woo to them, is to communicate to them in a way that kind of that makes them go aha, that makes them realize that you're not so crazy and so woo-woo and maybe far out in that sense. And there's a really cool interesting explanation that I want to share with you that a doctor has put out there. It's a short little video. It's a minute and a half or so, but I'm going to play this for you. It's from Jingduan Wang, who is from the Integrative Psychiatry and Medicine. And this is from a couple years back, but the way he nails this type of communication on how he explains acupuncture is really right on. Now, I just want to preface this in saying that he's not talking about the biochemical functions or the release of opioids or regulating the nervous system, but his conversation of what he's having is very compelling. And I just have it here, this little clip I want you guys to listen to. So listen up on this.
Acupuncture works. Which I said, well, we have 3 minutes before the class starts. let me give it a try. Well, I said, you're surgeon. If you look at me through your naked eyes, what did you see? He said, I see your clothes, your eyes, and that. I said, if you see me behind an X-ray machine, what do you see? He said, I bypass everything. I see your bones. I said, okay, how about MRI machine and CAT scan, PET scan, so on and so forth. I said, you're going to see a different part of me. He said, yes. How about imagine you have a quantum glasses or machine that you see everything at the quantum level. You look at me, what do you see? And he paused. I said, you might bypass all the structures. Everything you see me is my energetic existence. My organs is energetic center shining with colors, and you see more comprehensive energetic network throughout me. Every time my heartbeat, any physical function, mental function, you see is supported by the whole energetic network. And on the surface of the body, they have an openings like a window, like doors, communicating with the energy in the environment. That's the acupuncture point. By stimulating the point, you can regulate your energy flows, you can balance the nature of it, you can unblock the energy channels, and you can actually even supplement energy using the natural energy in the environment. That's how acupuncture works. Sorry.
So that is a very interesting approach to explaining acupuncture, and I really like that. And being a doctor himself and being able to explain it in such a way can make another doctor, you know, like, because doctors understand the way the body works from a gross tissue organ level all the way down to a cellular molecular level. And to break it down in this instance is a interesting and different approach than talking about opioid receptors and regulating the sympathetic nervous system in that way. So I can also include this link. You can even Google him on YouTube and find this video as well. Okay, so how to get noticed and position yourself as the go-to acupuncturist. The first thing is that your marketing and outreach will only be as effective as the list that you are using. Determining not only the number of doctors on your list, but the types of doctors is crucial. And I'm going to show you right now how to build your relationship list. So the first step is to build your relationship list. And building your physician list is the first step towards creating a consistent and sustained outreach program in your circle of practice. Start with your existing patients and ask them who their doctors are. And ask them if it would be okay for you to reach out to their doctors on their behalf to share information about their case with you, and or to see if you can reach out to their doctor to develop this referral relationship. Reach out to your own medical doctors. Reach out to your friends and find out who their doctors are. Check out WebMD, check out ZocDoc, and even Google specialties and or modalities, okay? If you are specializing in a particular condition there, then you can, you know, let's say you deal with pediatrics, you would Google pediatrics, Palm Beach, Florida, okay, for instance, and start developing your list, start creating that patient that practitioner relationship list that you can leverage from now and into the future. After you create your list, what you're going to do is you're going to call the offices to verify the addresses, and the doctor calling each office individually. It may seem tedious, and it's perhaps one of the more labor-intensive things that you're going to be doing in your outreach, but it pays back in dividends, especially when you have an accurate and up-to-date list of your physicians. And by verifying your list, you're able to further focus your marketing efforts because you know who's active, you know that they have the correct address, and the goal is to simply verify this information initially by reaching out to them. And there's, you know, what you could do initially is create this list on a piece of paper in a spreadsheet on Google, and then literally call up the offices to verify the information. You could say something like, good morning, this is Jeffrey Grossman. I am from the Seattle Acupuncture Clinic, and I'm calling to confirm the address at 123 Main Street, and also that Dr. Johnson is still practicing at your location. And that will start setting you up for creating your relationship list that you will use in the future moving forward. Okay, so you want to acknowledge, you want to make sure that that doctor is still in practice, that location is still good, because you're going to start sending them some information to open up those communications with that doctor. I highly recommend having roughly 25 to 50 physicians on your list. The larger the list, the greater results. And in order to set up your meetings, you start with MDs that you already have relationships with, and then start going down that list, remaining, by office size and location and practice type. Because if you start with the people that you already know, they already know you, they already like you, they already trust you, you already got the relationship with them, and it'll be a lot easier for you to hone your conversation and your communications in order for you to feel comfortable and confident in starting to build those relationships. Smaller offices are easier to get into, and they might have some less restrictions regarding referrals. And offices that are physically closer to your practice will be more appealing than those at the edge of, the circle of your practice in that way. So realistically, if you're going to make 50 calls and you're not going to make up 50 meetings, okay? And so you should expect to set up roughly 10 to 20 meetings out of 50 calls. And the aim would be to set up 1 meeting per week, okay? And also getting one-on-one time with the doctor generally takes place at one of 2 different types of encounters. You would be meeting them in lunch, or meeting them after hours or before hours. But if you are a pediatric, if you practice pediatrics, you're going to want to look for pediatricians, naturopaths, and chiropractors. If you work with sports medicine, you're going to want to research sports medicine, extremity specialists, and chiropractors. These are all people that are part of your network that you're going to grow. If you're dealing with geriatrics, you're going to want to reach out to internal medicine docs, urgent care docs, naturopaths, maybe even chiropractors. If you deal with fertility and pregnancy, you're going to want to reach out to OBGYNs, midwives, doulas, naturopaths. If you are in family care, you're going to want to reach out to OBGYNs, pediatricians, naturopaths, chiropractors, primary care practitioners. And if you are in relief care, you're going to want to build your list of primary care practitioners, internal medicine practitioners, urgent care practitioners, naturopaths, and chiropractors. So this is a good place for you to start with regard to starting to develop that list of 50 or more, at least, local different doctors. Now, different between pediatricians, naturopaths, and chiropractors, and urgent care docs, and doulas, and OBGYN docs, you'll be able to fill up those relationships. One of the things I would encourage you to do would be to go to Google and type in your zip code and then naturopath, and then make a list of all those naturopaths there. Again, if you're going to be looking for chiropractors, zip code chiropractors, and make a list of those chiropractors within a 1 mile, 2 mile, 5 mile radius. Depending upon if you're in an urban area that's dense, you'll have more of a density of practitioners more locally, as opposed to if you're in a more of a rural community, you're going to have to spread out further in a mile radius in order to start building that list up. But again, the more people, the larger the list, the greater the results. And that's something to really keep in mind. I know this sounds like work, and it is work, but when you start building those relationships, when you start getting 1 to 5 different MDs that are referring to you regularly, that is going to be a game changer. Because imagine you've got 5 docs that refer 3 patients a month to you from each doc. That's 15 new patients just from MD referrals alone. That's pretty good. That's pretty sweet. So that's something to really consider. So when you are looking to get face-to-face time and you want to book a lunch, here's a short conversation that you can have. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Grossman. I'm calling on behalf of Jeffrey Grossman at Clinic, Seattle, Acupuncture Clinic. he has co-managed quite a few patients with your doctor, but has not had the opportunity to formally introduce himself. He would like to book a lunch with you at your office. May I speak to your office manager to book a lunch? So these are the icebreakers that get you into doing a lunch and or a meeting. Hello, my name is, let's say I have an office staff named Mary, and I'm calling on behalf of Jeffrey Grossman at the Seattle Acupuncture Clinic. He has co-managed quite a few patients with your doctor, but has not had the opportunity to formally introduce himself. What is the best day or time for your doctor, for Jeffrey to stop by and meet your doctor? Jeffrey is flexible to stop by directly before or after your clinic hours, or you can meet the doctor at lunch. Okay, so these are specific conversations that you could be having with the doctors or the front desk staff in order to get yourself into them. So I want you to realize this is not going to be easy. It's going to take a few contacts and perseverance to succeed over time. So after you're building your relationship list, here are some of the next steps that you need to take, is to reach out to your list regularly and as often as you can, is to start building that rapport with them, is to prepare your marketing materials, educate beyond just pain awareness by helping overcome skepticism, overcome objections, providing them with research and validity and a conversation that communicates to their Western-minded awareness. Also, you want to ask them who you can refer to them. And like I said earlier, you're going to want to pacify, so to speak, the mindset that you're going to be stealing my patients. Because whether or not an MD or even a chiropractor or a naturopath refers to you, one of the things they're going to think about is that, oh, well, what happens if they're going to steal my patient and my patient isn't going to come back out to me? So you're going to need to assure that doctor or that naturopath or that chiropractor that this is a team effort and that you're in this for the patient and not just to, you know, gouge them of their patients in general. And one of the great ways to do this is that you can refer to them first. So when you're having that lunch or that meeting with the doctor, what you could do is you could ask them what kind of new patients they're accepting and how and who you can refer to them. And when you start the referral relationship off by referring to them, that sets you off on a foot of goodwill. And then tell them who they can refer to you and the types of people that you're looking for and how they can refer to you. Are they just going to, you're going to have somebody just call up the office and refer? Are they going to come in with a certificate or a coupon or a letter or a referral pad? Are they going to schedule online? So it's important, if you can make this as easy as possible for the doctor and the front desk staff to refer to you, it's going to be a lot easier to get more referrals from those practitioners. You're going to need to keep yourself in top of mind awareness. And what that means is continually reach out to your list once it's built. And once you get referrals going, keep in communication with them. Make sure that you are sending letters back to them, and I'll talk about that in a second over here. Make sure that those doctors know that you are out there and that you're in top of mind awareness. So when they are thinking about referring somebody for back pain or allergies or infertility issues, that you are in their top of mind awareness. Okay. So preparing your materials. This is how you can prepare yourself to look professional and come off in a way that is branded and allows the doctor to more easily refer to you. Make sure you get a branded folder, something that you could stick everything inside of that has an introductory letter, a practice information sheet, curriculum vitae, cost-effective studies if you can find those, any type of monthly research breach that you have happening, anything that is condition specific that can help show the efficacy of acupuncture, especially if you know you're dealing with a doctor that deals with mental and emotional issues. Tailor your research to mental and emotional issues. If you have a doctor that's coming that sees patients for musculoskeletal pain or ankle pain, tailor your monthly research briefs to them, and make sure you continually stay in communication, continually stay in top of mind awareness with those docs by funneling them this information on a regular basis. This is what I would be sending to the doctors. This is what you see in the upper right-hand corner is a branded folder that we have for sale on Acupuncture Media Works. We also, I would send them a questions and answer brochure, a brochure on acupuncture and modern research, an acupuncture in a nutshell booklet, and also give them a referral pad to make it easier for them to just write a prescription for types of acupuncture that they can be receiving to you. And this isn't like a formal prescription pad like you would be getting for medication. This is a simple prescription pad that you can create, or we actually have them for you, that would have your name, your clinic information, and this would be something that you would include inside the folder that you would be giving out to the doctors. That would make it really easy for them to write a prescription to refer that patient to you. And we've got a special going right now, save 25% if you guys use the FASOMA coupon. That's just a little thing that we do for FASOMA. Being a member of FASOMA, we offer a discount for you guys. And this is one of the offers that we have available for you guys for just saying thank you and helping you out during this time right now. Approximately 3 days prior to your scheduled lunch meeting, confirm your engagement with them. Okay, the purpose of this call is not to only confirm the day and the time, but to also verify that the number of attendees that might be showing up for the lunch, if you're going to be hosting a lunch, and if there are any dietary restrictions that you need to be aware of. Okay, and here are a couple simple scripts that I would suggest to you that are going to happen face-to-face. So if you're bringing a lunch, what you can say, you can call them up and you can say, hello, this is Jeffrey Grossman from Seattle Acupuncture Clinic, and I'm scheduled to come into your office during June 15th at 11 p.m. And I want to confirm the date and the time and find out how many people will be attending, and also see if anyone in your office has any dietary restrictions. Pretty straightforward, right? And then if you're not bringing lunch, you can say, hello, my name is Jeffrey Grossman from Seattle Acupuncture Clinic. I'm scheduled to come to your office on June 16th at 12 noon to meet Dr. Johnson, and I want to confirm the date and time. Also, if anything comes up from Dr. Johnson, can reach me directly on my cell phone at whatever your cell phone number is. And that's just if you're going to be just confirming that conversation. And I think it's important because you want to just make sure that it's happening and that it didn't get overlooked and overscheduled. So when you are writing letters to maximize your referrals, here's a couple things that you need to include with your letters. Who, which is what is the patient's name and when did they visit your office? That's important. Why is this patient in your office? Like, what do they come in to see you for? What kind of patient notes, soap notes are you able to prescribe for them? What is the condition? You need to list out your diagnosis codes, and also how is the patient expected to improve, and what's your anticipated treatment plan and the goals. So when you write letters to your patients, and I have a couple sample letters that I have in the next few slides here for you, that you need to definitely include the who, the why, the what, and the how. Okay, so one referral letter would say this would be a referral letter that you would send out soliciting referrals, and this would say, Dear Dr. Johnson, there are occasions when I need to refer my patients to a specialist. Sometimes I'm at a loss when my patients ask for a recommendation for a chiropractor. I'd like to change that, and I could use your help. I'd like to meet you, tour your clinic, and understand your approach to patient care, and hear about the types of cases that you enjoy and how I can include you as a resource for my clients. Do you have an opening for lunch in the next week or so? May I call you or your staff to arrange a time and date? Please feel free to contact me, us, whatever, at the clinic if you have any questions. Warmest regards. Okay, and then you need to follow up with that. So that's a cold solicitation. This next letter is about thanking the practitioner for referring somebody to you for acupuncture. Dear Dr. Johnson, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for referring Beth to our office for acupuncture. The greatest compliment another medical provider can give us is by telling others about our office and sharing the benefits of acupuncture with the patients in need. I appreciate you telling your patients about the benefits of acupuncture and expressing your confidence in me as a healthcare provider. After my first course of treatment, I will send Beth back to you to be reevaluated, and I will send along detailed chart notes, progress notes, and other recommendations of care I think may further benefit them. Thanks again for your internal referral. And you want to make sure that you include a letter that outlines the initial patient problem, treatment, and treatments that you provided to date, and any additional or follow-up treatments that you might think are required in order to optimize that patient's health. And one thing that I want to bring your attention to that's really important here is this fourth paragraph here is, after my first course of treatment, I will send Beth back to you to be reevaluated. And when a doctor hears that, they feel more confident in this relationship, that you're not trying to steal their patients. They understand that you are there to support the best interests of the patients, and that you even value their care enough to send that patient back to them. So this is a really great letter to send out to the patients. And this other letter is following up with the initial course of treatment. Dear Dr. Johnson, thank you for referring Beth to me to the Seattle Acupuncture Clinic. I finalized a thorough acupuncture care plan for Beth. Our initial course of treatment involved whatever techniques that you use to make changes in your client's symptoms, everything we conducted to achieve the quickest results, the clinical success. Initially, Mrs. whatever her name is, or in this case, Beth, came to us seeking help with all these different symptoms and all these different signs. Over the number of 8 treatments, she, and then explained the changes that occurred. She improved and went from a level of 9 pain to a level of 3 pain. She has greater mobility. She's able to sleep better. She has reduced night sweats and has a lot less stress and anxiety going on. Whatever it is, whatever changes occurred, you need to list those out. Upon the finalization of our care plan, we're requesting that Beth schedule an appointment with you so that you can re-examine her and further decide what the next course of treatment should be. In my opinion, I think that Beth should continue care with 4 more treatments to achieve whatever goal you're achieving, seek further assistance, get a second opinion, or they no longer need any care with you. Okay. Enclosed, you will find a copy of our chart notes. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for entrusting Beth with my care. Sincerely, whatever your name is. Okay, so those are really good referral letters that you could be sending out to your patients. Okay, and then there are 7 ways to maintain MD relationships. Once you've established a rapport with your primary care physicians, there are several things that you can do to build on the relationship and keep your name in the doctor's top of mind awareness, okay? First one is to keep them abreast of your practice. And you need to, when you become familiar with a new treatment or when you become skilled in a new technique, make sure that you send them an appropriate letter to the primary care physicians telling them about this new information. Keep them abreast of what kind of changes are happening in your clinic. Send them pertinent journal articles to medical professionals, about the different treatments that are offered by acupuncture or by your clinic, or new changes that have occurred in the industry. And when you send the journal article, consider highlighting the important parts of the article in that are important for this physician. So they might not be compelled to read the entire article, just highlight specifics in the article so that pertain to exactly what's going on with them. So if you are dealing with a fertility doc and you came up with some fertility articles, just highlight the things that make them go, oh, wow, oh, that's interesting. I had no idea. Let me send more patients to Jeffrey. The other thing is to keep physicians informed of any insurance panels. So every 6 months, consider sending a primary care physician a laminated list of the insurance plans on which you are included. And be sure to include your name and office phone number at the top of that list. This way, when they have patients who are also on that insurance plan, they know that you are also on that insurance plan, that you can that they might easily be able to get care under their insurance. Offer to write and provide articles for physicians. So you may want to write articles on a new technique that you learned about common techniques, whether it's regard to infertility or back pain or allergies or whatever it is that that doctor is specifically specializing in. Okay, so that positions you as the expert. You're also able to provide really solid content for that doctor to get out there for their patients, and you're doing them a service, because if they have a newsletter that goes out to their patients, they don't necessarily have to write it all. They've got some content that you're handing out to them. Okay, and regularly request meetings, and it's an excellent opportunity to do and maintain face-to-face contacts with referring physicians. And this will also provide a casual opportunity for you to discuss any difficulties or concerns that you might have that are regarding their patients. The other thing is to ask your patients to talk about you. So you may have some very, very satisfied patients in your clinics, and it's important for you to ask them to talk about you to their other physicians. So every time they hear about you, that doctor's like, I keep hearing about this guy. I need to check into him, or I keep hearing about him from my patients and he keeps bugging me to meet him. So maybe it's about time that I go meet him, and so on. And then the other thing is to make sure that you maintain communication channels by sending out an initial report and a treatment plan, that you send out a follow-up report and a treatment plan, that you can send out birthday notes to the doctor and even the front desk staff, that you send out thank you letters, which are absolutely imperative. Thank you for the referral. Maybe you might want to gift them with local prepaid gift cards to like coffee shops or restaurants, and send research updates to them, okay? And then again, make sure that you maintain yourself in top of mind awareness. All right, so I understand that there is a lot of information here that I've been sharing with you guys, and I think that is it for my presentation here. But if you guys are looking for any type of clarity or any type of guidance, I have a group mentoring program that I run every month. You could reach me at this email address here below for anything that you want. If you want me to send you some scripts that I talked about or letters that you talked about, or if you just want to learn about this clarity mentoring group that I have going on, feel free to reach me at jeffrey@acupuncturemediaworks.com. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to come back here to see you guys and see if you got any questions that I can answer here for you guys. So
Wow, that was amazing, Jeffrey. Thank you so much.
yeah, hopefully it wasn't too much information or overwhelming. And I know that it's a kind of difficult times to consider reaching out to MDs and to do what. And I know that there's a lot of concern about doing that in general. But I encourage, you guys, again, 1 to 5 solid referrers can really help you grow a solid practice through regular channels with MDs.
Thank you. Yes, that was wonderful. So there was one comment in the chat box to how to initially approach MDs, especially if you're new to the area. So you did talk about that, but if you could give us some words of encouragement. I know that that can be very scary, especially when you're new to a new city, a new town, or just a new practitioner, and you're building your confidence in your art, in your medicine as a human being. What would be some words of wisdom that you have for that?
Sure. Well, I think that's it. You kind of touched on it, Natalia, and I think it's really becoming confident, because a lot of times, and I also went through this too, being in practice and dealing with MDs, I didn't feel very confident in my communication skills and being able to clearly and effectively communicate acupuncture and how it works and the efficacy of the medicine and the theories based upon Western medicine to an MD and feel comfortable about it. So I kept on overthinking it. And basically, the doctor is really looking to build a rapport relationship. He or she aren't really looking to, know your deep understanding of the exact mechanisms of the way chi flows through the meridian pathways, and having to explain that and to share with them how it affects the nervous system in various ways. They're not necessarily looking for you to educate them in that way. They're looking to build a rapport. They're looking to build a relationship. They're looking to build that trust with you with regards to knowing that you know what you're talking about. Because the last thing they want to do is to refer somebody to you and you're not competent. Okay? And competency comes with feeling confident. And as a new practitioner, I totally understand what it was like not feeling confident in my pulse and my diagnosis and my points and my treatment protocols. And I want to encourage you to realize that you have a lot of skills on board, and it's just a matter of you possibly getting out of your own way of this level of, assuming that you might not be worthy enough or good enough in that way. You go through 4 years of education to become an acupuncturist. You've got a powerful medical modality and understanding on board, and it's profound. All right. And it's up to you to come up with a little bit of a conversation and a communicative script that you could use, like an elevator speech that you could use on MDs when you are doing any type of outreach. And it's something that you need to do. So when you do embark upon setting up your MD referral networks, you're going to need some type of a canned conversation that you have that you can go to answer questions, the mechanisms of acupuncture, or, like explain this or explain that. And I know that I started off saying that you don't need to go into that detail of all of the mechanisms and the theories of TCM, but you need to have an understanding of what those are. So if you are asked, and you might very well be asked and challenged from an MD who doesn't understand the medicine or the modality or the far-reaching benefits of it, to explain what it is that you do and how you do it. And it's important for you to have a canned conversation that comes from a place of confidence, where you can say what it is that you do, how you can help, what this medicine is according to Western theories and thought processes in that way. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, and even non-medical professionals will ask, how does it work?
Even patients will ask how it works.
People
right?
are curious because it is, it might not be something new for us and we might get it, but we tend to forget that we're a very small population in the world that actually practices this or understands it, at least here in the States. So yeah, we're always educating, and I love the fact that you reminded us of that elevator pitch. I know that is really important to have, and maybe that's something that you can guide us through in a future workshop on how to even create an effective, powerful elevator pitch that hooks people's attention. And there's an art to that, and I know that. And so thank you. That was amazing. And thank you, all of you, for joining us, for supporting FSOMA, for being our members. It is because of our membership that we are able to provide all of you these free educational webinars on practice management. This webinar is being recorded, and either by tomorrow, in the next couple of days, it will be up on our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to enjoy and rewatch over and over again. And also make sure and check out all the other wonderful webinars that Jeffrey and so many other experts in our profession have been able to collaborate and create with us. So thank you, everyone, again, for joining us from FSOMA. And Jeffrey, it's always wonderful to have you with us.
It's always great to be here. Thank you so much for you, Natalia, and for Ellen and FSOMA for making this happen. And thank you everyone for taking the time out of your evenings in Florida and wherever you are to join me on this webinar. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Natalia.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.